Hello everyone, welcome yet again to this live stream. And as you can see, I'm with my artist today, and that's because one of my patrons, Peter Smart, he asked me if I could do a video with my art stop. And because I have many people that are subscribed to my channel, and also in my Patreon that are actually not gypsy jazz guitar players per se, but they play art stop. And the reason I didn't do it before is because I'm a little bit scared that it is very difficult to balance the volume with this one microphone up here and then a backing track. But I did some tests and I think it should be fine. Anyway, let me know if the guitar is too loud or not loud enough. I need a certain volume to make the art stop sound, and it's easy to do that too loud. So I put the amplifier really at a low volume. But he had a point too. He said like those chords that I was doing, that I was showing in this library, they might even sound richer on an art stop. And for some of the chords that is definitely true. Not for everything, and they sound good on a gypsy jazz guitar too. So this is episode 2 of my chord library, and if you look at the title of this video, I made up a ridiculous clickbait title, but let's see if that works. The thing is, I'm just trying to get views, because if I get views, that means I get subscribers, and if I get subscribers, then it is then the videos will get pushed more, and I'm making videos because I need people to see them, right? It's a difficult game to play, but that's the only reason I have the clickbait titles. It's because I need the views, and you could help me a little bit by liking this video. I just recently heard that if the live stream gets a lot of likes, YouTube will help push the live stream out to more of my subscribers. So please, if you could take the time and like the video, I promise you I have some good content for you. So last video we did 3 chord formulas, and this video again 3 chord formulas, and every week we'll add 3 more until we have many to choose from. So let's just get started. That's the first one. Let me get the tab myself. So it's a very simple one, but there's more stuff you can do with it even than shown here, but we'll discuss it. It sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So the nice thing about this is that this voicing, at the F minor voicing, I just shifted up a fret, and now it functions as a F7 altered, F7 sharp 9. So this voicing, just good to realize, if there's a G on top and you play it on F minor, then it's an F minor chord. But if you play it on E7, it would be an E7 altered. So if you view the note on top as a 9, it's for a minor chord, and if you view it as a sharp 9, it's for a dominant chord. So because this progression goes from F minor to B flat minor, you can play that F7 there, because basically what you're playing is F minor, F7 to B flat minor. And even though the F7 might not be in the progression, it doesn't really matter, it just sounds. And this is one of my favorite voicings for minor chord. And low, it's especially nice. It's basically the same if you play this, right? Sorry. So B flat minor, and the way I find it is that the minor third is under my first finger on the A string. And you can even play a note on the high E string. You could even play this A there. That's tricky to play, but you don't need it. I maybe even like it more without that high note, just this low growly voicing. Now, where can you use this? Right, you could use this in any song where it's a minor song that goes from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, like Blue Bossa or Ergin, or a minor blues, or minor swing, of course, minor swing. And there's many other songs. So that would be my first use, would be to use it like it's written here. We go from the 1 to the 4 chord, right? So let me just demonstrate that on minor string. So if I play it on minor string, I have to play it on A minor. So I need the 9 on top, the B. Right? And I can play it in a couple of places on minor string. I could start with it immediately because the first 2 chords are A minor to D minor. Let me get minor string backing track. So let me try that. So minor string, if you don't know it, but I think you know it, it's A minor 2 bars, D minor. So I could use immediately in the beginning. But let's not do that. Let's start with like a normal solo. So we get A minor, D minor, E7, A minor to D minor. I'm going to use it right there. Okay, let's do that. Oh, that's the wrong place. That is the wrong place. I did from D minor to A minor. Wait, I should have done it earlier. Let's do it again. Sorry. It's a great sound, right? So, but now you could use it in another way too. If you look at the first chord and don't think F minor, but just think, well, let's not talk about F minor. Let's talk about A minor because I'm going to demonstrate an A minor. So in this minor string, there is an E7 chord, right? If I would want to play this voicing on E7, I need a sharp 9 on top. So this voicing, right? Now I could just play from this chord, E7 to A minor. I have the same thing in the last 2 bars. Right, but I could now even play the whole formula just by shifting that E7 down. Of course, this is completely outside an E7, but it is kind of a tension thing that I resolve upward. Or you could resolve it down. But I think it's less nice. So let me just play it again on minor string, and now I'm going to use it also on E7, right? So you get E minor, A minor, D minor, and now E7. You can already hear that it works. Let me play it, put the backing track a little bit louder maybe. Great. And now, of course, you could also then use it on any tune where you have a 5-1-2 minor chord. Just play it on that 5 chord. So 2 utilities, you can use it from a 1 to a 4 chord in minor, or just from a 5-1 in minor. And I think, I'm not sure I got this, maybe I got it from Peter Bernstein, but I'm not completely sure. I think I changed a little bit. But maybe I got this movement, like playing this in F minor and then F7 altered with the same chords. Cool. Okay, let's go to the next one. By the way, if you want to download the tab for this, you can of course print screen it. I'll show it once again. Or you could go to my Patreon and you can download every tab for every video. Just the link is in the description. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is a Mark Mark Whitfield thing, in the sense that these are voicings he likes to play, and these are rhythms he likes to play. It's kind of Wes Montgomery-like, but the way the voicings move, it's completely my thing. So it's a 2/5 to F. Let me play it one slowly. So, but the first voicing is this one. It's a beautiful voicing that is not played a lot in by jazz guitar players, but it should be played because it's nice. So it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. One more time: 3, 4. So, okay, a couple of things on how to play this. First of all, those 16th notes, they should be soft. So you should have the accent on the triplet. 3, 4, Especially when you play it fast, it goes like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then, so this last voicing for F is beautiful voicing because there's no third, or the third is on top. But if you play without the top note, you get this voicing. It's a beautiful voicing for an F chord. F major 7 without a third, or with a 9. And the beginning idea, where I shift this up, that idea I got from Peter Bernstein from the last video, right? Where you just move that minor chord up a half step. And then you go back, but instead of going back to the same voicing, I go to this voicing of G minor. That's also typical Mark Whitfield. So to play that, you have to play those 16 notes are not that important, those triplets, but that the last chord you have to push it down and then slide. Don't slide immediately. So. And the last note you can slide longer because it's a longer note. 3, 4. So I'm talking about the last 2 bars. 1, 2, 3. So one more time. 3, 4. So let me play that on. Let me play that on. Let me see. Let me play it on Dinah, because Dinah has 2 5s in G, right? So in G it would be. That voicing is quite tricky to play because you have such a wide grip and then you have to suddenly play very small. Maybe it's easier to play it with 1 3. No. Just a matter of practicing. Okay, let me try that with Dinah. Dinah, do do do. Wow, this is fast. That tempo is pretty fast to play it on. Let me try it on a little bit slower song. Let's try it on Coquette, and then I can play it in the bridge, because in D it's almost impossible to play. It's too high, or too low. You can't do it with the open strings. So I'm gonna play it in the bridge. The bridge has a 2 5 to G2, but it's a little bit of a slower tempo. Sounds cool, right? And now what I did also do is in that formula I showed last week, this one was the first one. I played it with the same rhythm. You could play. I played. So that rhythm is just a nice little thing to play. Now there's a variation on this, which I also tapped out for you. It's the same chords, but now it is a little bit more complicated because now it's all triplets. And the best way to show you how to practice this at first, because it's very difficult to feel this, but it's very cool effect to play with this triplet feel. Let me play with the metronome one time so you can really feel what it sounds like, and also how to practice it, because it's pretty complicated to make this a consistent thing. Let me take a little bit slower tempo, 100. So you have to think about triplets. Tapati, takati, tik, tik, tik. And then you have to play the second of the triplet, and then the 1 and the 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, ga, 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 ki, ba, ba, da, ga, di, ba. Let's do it on one chords. So also a Mark Whitfield thing. Very cool. He's very good at playing those chord solos with strong rhythms, right? The voicings are nice too, but these rhythms, those are the thing. So let me try a little bit faster with the metronome. Even faster. Let's see if I can make it to 150, for example. 1, 2, 3, 4. Difficult. Okay, that's not completely clean, but so you see, if you don't play this rhythm very exact, it doesn't have the same impact. Well, let me try once to play it on let's go back to Coquette. And so then I could play it in D, right? So then it would be, oh, so I can play it in D, but I have to play it on the bridge in G. So. Okay, let me try that. Very complicated. So the other one is much easier, the one with the just easier to feel. So I'd say this kind of rhythm is easier to play maybe in a slower tempo, like really like a slow blues, where you have more time to think about the triplets. or you can practice it, of course. I mean, this is a new one I transcribed this week. So, yeah, great one. Okay, let's go to the final one for this week. And that's one that was requested. It's one I played during an improvisation last week when I was just improvising a chord solo. And they said, oh, it's a, oh, I see now that there are dots in bar 13. There should not be dots there. I will make that, I will fix that for the patrons. So he said that's a typical Django thing, and it is a little bit, but I think it's more of a Stochler-Rosenberg thing. It originates with Django, but then Stochler made it the whole thing. So it sounds like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, four. I think this one sounds actually a little bit better on a gypsy jazz guitar because the higher notes will pop out more. But it sounds fine too on a gypsy guitar. So what's the thing is, this is just one voicing shifted, right? It's this voicing, which is the F7, but then on the high E string you also play. So you can play it, most people play it like this, like 1, 3, 2, 4, and then they flatten their pinky to play. I cannot do that. I cannot flatten my pinky. So I play it with this fingering, same notes. And then you just move it down in whole steps. And then you play, and for this, you gotta practice it. I find it very easy now, but I know that I thought it was very difficult. So you gotta sink your hands, down, up, down. It has to sound like this. And then you say, wow, so you end on F7, right? But the chord's F6. But don't worry about this. This voicing just sounds great. Doesn't really matter if the chord is F6 and you play F7, right? You could think about it in many different ways. I just know it sounds great on guitar. But if you want a theoretical explanation, you could say, well, it's the one from the blues, or it's Mixolydian or something. But just it sounds good. So let me just play that in coquette. So then it would be this 3, 4. So the way I find it is I have to start with the roots of the tonic, and it's a turnaround. It's not 2/5, it's a turnaround. And the chords in the tab say, oh, F, D7, G minor, C7, but it doesn't matter. It's just any turnaround. Could be F, C7, or F, D7, G7, C7, or F, D flat 7, C7, any turnaround, anything that's at the end of the song goes back to the beginning. So in D, one more time. So now if you look at listen to the backing track, the rhythm section is just playing D, A7, I think. And I'm gonna play these chords on top, and it sounds very powerful. Very cool, right? So if you want to make it sound really good, you gotta play it really with a layback view, right? Play, and you can make many variations on this, like. Yeah. Now for fun, I should maybe play all three of them, right? So the first one was the one go to minor. Can I play the one in minor here in Coquette? Yeah, I could do it because I could think D7 to E minor like this. So I'm thinking B7. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna play in the second bar. I'm gonna play the first formula. Now I'm gonna play for the turnaround, and the bridge I'm gonna play all three of them. Here we go. I'll do the second A. That wasn't the best solo ever, but you get my you get what I'm trying to do, right? So these chord formulas are all super amazing, good stuff. This is stuff that I don't hear enough. A couple of guitar players that do this are Peter Bernstein, Martijn van Ittersen, Stoffel Rosenberg has a good repertoire of chord solo stuff, Moses, but there's lots of guitar players that never play chord solos, and they play great single line. Oh, Adrien Monniard, another great example, and Pirelli Lagrène. But there's tons of great guitar players that actually don't do this, and it's such a great effect on guitar, and especially when you take into account also the rhythmic things you can do, not only the nice chord voicings, but also these rhythmic things. So next week I'll be back with more of this delicious stuff, I think. And again, if you want the tabs, you can download them on my Patreon. And by the way, if you want to tip the stream, you can do that by clicking on the $sign next to the comments. And this is very much appreciated. I want to thank the people that made donations yesterday after the stream. Too late to trigger the GIF, but still, thank you so much. My patrons are the reason that I can keep doing this and making all these videos. I mean, I really enjoy it in sharing what I transcribe, but I need to buy lots of equipment for this. Just bought a monitor so I can see myself finally, and the lights, and there's so much stuff around me, you have no idea. So let me see if there's any questions I need to answer. Then I have to go here. here. Boom. Okay, let me see. Hi, Kristen. Nice to see you again. I met you in Britain at the workshop. Hi, Alan. Yeah, I'm not sure I remember your name, but I do remember the workshop. That was really nice. Sounds good. Okay, the guitar sounds good. Great. Then I can do more with my artstop. I will kind of interchange between artstop and Gypsy Jazz guitar, because for me there's virtually no difference. I use exactly the same technique, and if I play on a Stratocaster, I also use the same technique. That's the thing about Gypsy Jazz. I made this one video called "Why Gypsy Jazz Technique is the Most Powerful Technique," and I got lots of criticism about that title. But if you watch the video, actually I say the reason I say that is because Gypsy Jazz picking is one of the few guitar techniques that actually works on every guitar. Now, one area where it wouldn't work is if you play with heavy distortion, because now you can't really mute the strings. But on every other guitar it works, and there's not many other picking styles that work on every guitar. For instance, if you're an alternate picker, it works on many guitars, but on Gypsy Jazz guitar you actually might have a problem. Not every way of alternate picking, but lots of alternate picking styles where you lock your wrist. Yes, economy is a very soft picking style, which actually doesn't work on Gypsy Jazz guitar, for instance. Now, Gypsy Jazz picking works on every guitar, but there are other disadvantages. I mean, for instance, you cannot mute when you play with heavy distortion, or it's very difficult to go to hybrid picking. For instance, I don't know any Gypsy Jazz guitar player that's good at hybrid picking. I'm not good at it at all, and that's because of this hand position. To switch to hybrid picking, that's not really feasible to do that. So nobody practices that. Okay. Boop. Hi, Watermelon Man. Great to see you again. Christian, you make guitar look easy. Well, thank you. But I had to practice really hard. And I always say, when people say, oh, he makes it look so easy, you know why? It's because it is easy for that person. Because they've been practicing so much that it has become easy. So for me, for instance, it's very easy to improvise on Coquette or any of the Gypsy Jazz standards. It's super easy because I've done it now for thousands of hours. That's the only reason. So I make it look easy because I find it to be easy. But that was not always the case. Thank you, Alan. You're probably one of the best on YouTube, he says. Well, thank you. That's really nice to hear. I hope my channel keeps growing. It's painfully slow sometimes with the subscribers, but you know, it is what it is. What is the airspeed velocity of an unladen swallow? I think it's like around 43.2 kilometers per hour, I think. So, yeah. Christian, one question: how do you deal with tunes that have very few chords to fill the space? Well, then for that you have to just go to my video called Gypsy Jazz, the first Gypsy Jazz loops video. I'm not sure if it's linked in the description, but it's the one where I play on the guitar like this, and it's called something like Flow Like the Pros or something with flow. And there I talk about how to approach long chords, because usually those chords are dominant chords. And then I just play, basically I play diminished arpeggios up, like in the basses, diminished arpeggios up and phrygian dominant or altered scales down, right? So if I say a long E7, so it's just diminished up, altered down, diminished up, phrygian dominant, diminished up, altered. Right, that's one possibility. Then I could also put some D minor in there. And for one chords, check out the video I made called "Sound Like a Pro on the One Chord." It's not difficult to play on long static chords. I made some videos about it. If you type in static chords and my name, you probably also get some videos. It's just a matter of knowing these diminished arpeggios and these Frisian dominant scales, and you'll be fine. It's not easy to pull it off, but the idea behind it is pretty easy. Oh, you mean like chords, so not lines. Okay. So for chords, well, now you're talking probably about a jazz guitar player that's not playing rhythm, right? Because if I'm playing rhythm, it's just, I can play the same chord all the time. But if you want to comp, you have to just know many voicings, right? If you have A7, I just know many ways to play A7, and you can play some E minor there. If it's a long D, I just know for every chord type, I know like tons of voicing. So, and then you just slide between them, right? If you have, let's say you want to play this D, it's a D9 to this, you can play, right? So I'm thinking about this voicing. So I want to go to C minor. Right, so I just know many voicings for every chord, and you can learn that. You can learn that by just following this series, and you will learn all those voicings. Yes, well, yeah, there's lots of, but also jazz standards have the same chords. Just know many voicings and just shift them around, and just keep working on your library of voicings. Okay, guys, it's a timing that's the best. Yeah. So I made a video about timing. It's called "How to Swing," and I think it's very valuable information. If you want to know how I develop my timing and how I work on the timing still. So I guess that's it for this week, for this video. I'll be back later, I don't know, maybe tomorrow, maybe the day after, maybe Monday, with my continuation of my series for beginners. Well, I say it's for beginners, but it's just standards, and I'm gonna do I Remember April. So we're gonna talk about the chords, we're gonna talk about how to play a simple solo, I'll give you some licks and stuff. And then I will see you guys and girls in the next video. Don't forget, if you want the tabs for this, go to my Patreon. There's a link in the description, and I will upload this. If any of our patrons are watching, I will upload the tabs for this now. Like in 10 minutes, it will be there. Okay, I will see you next time. Bye.